Hey y'all, it's Kosta. Today I'm starting a new series about the future of long-term care. Today we're gonna talk about funding. So I've worked in long-term care for 10 years, and even in that short period of time, so much has changed and will be changing in the next 10 to 20 years that you need to know about. Long-term care is currently funded by tax dollars and a combination of state Medicaid with some federal dollars that match. About 85 to 90% of the industry is funded this way. The other 10 to 15% is funded by a minority of our population who can afford to pay out of pocket for their own care. This is why it's so important to start planning for long-term care. You don't want to be stuck between the gap of Medicaid beneficiaries and individuals who can afford to pay out of pocket, essentially the middle class. This will drain your life savings quickly and deplete any money you have for retirement or to pass on to any loved ones. You're probably asking, how will long-term care be funded in the future? Well, the goal is for Medicare, which covers almost 150 million Americans, to cover long-term care. Without tax increases and funding from the federal government, this is impossible. We're living much longer, we're not that healthy, and sadly, nobody really has a plan to address this. So best case scenario, long-term care of the near and distant future is covered by a combination of Medicare, Medicaid, and long-term care insurance. Taking personal responsibility is vital. As the baby boomer generation ages and begins needing these services, care is becoming more scarce and it's becoming more expensive. So you will need a plan. And it's best to have that plan in your hands with your own options than rely on the government to subsidize these costs. Because remember, someone turning 65 today has a 70% chance of needing long-term care in their lifetime. 70%, and most likely you will too. The question is what can we do better in the future, right? One of the easiest ways we can curb these expenses and start to restructure this industry is repairing the family unit. We need to curb the necessity of long-term care. And if family members were caring for their aging family, we could eliminate the need for one person caring for another person. And whatever we can do to offset the necessity of individuals receiving services from a third-party agency, such as nursing home, in-home care agency, or assisted living facility, that will contribute tremendously to our ability to fund these programs. And states are working on their own solutions. For example, Washington State has a 2% tax that goes into coffers to provide subsidies that will cover some, but not all, long-term care services. The bottom line for funding in long-term care is increased funding for the state and federal government and our own willingness to face these challenges selflessly. Caring for your own family is one of the easiest ways to improve the long-term care industry and start protecting your generational wealth. And I know this isn't an option for everyone, but if it is, I encourage you to start taking steps to educate yourself and your family on the importance of aging in place. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions on the future of long-term care or funding for long-term care, please leave them in the comments section below.